for introverted men in particular, a lot of the problems we have with dating, one of the major ones is that we're thinking, I just want to find somebody and get over with. This is a waste of my time to like
Mhm.
be out here all the time. And there's also this feeling with introverted guys in particular about like the things they have to do in order to really get women to be attracted to them. It can feel like a waste of time. It can feel inauthentic, like, having to do small talk or having to have these text exchanges, all this other stuff. How do you, for the introverted guys that you work with, how do you get them to see like the long-term game of why this stuff's actually important?
For my coaching, particularly, I don't really do any type of performative coaching, like, okay, kind of act like this, or, you know, it's for my clients, it's really just showing up. Like they have a very difficult time of even approaching women, just like full stop. So for what I coach my clients on is getting better at being disliked, getting better at being judged, getting better at feeling, or yeah, just like you're not maybe wanted by some women. Because if you're really putting yourself out there enough, it is just mathematically going to happen that some women aren't going to like you. And
Right.
that's 100% okay, right? It's just getting to that point where we can be okay with rejection and not making it mean something about us. So for introverted men, it's focusing on those self-limiting beliefs. You mentioned some, like you mentioned some lines at the beginning, like it's not worth it, or how do I even even asking like very disempowering questions, like is she going to like me if I do this, or just all of that kind of garbage is all the stuff we do before anything's even happened,
Mm.
right? Before we even are updating our profile, we're just ruminating on all the worst case scenarios. Even before we go on that first date, we're just ruminating on how this isn't a good idea. I don't know how to dress. I don't know if she's going to like me. So it's just because what I believe is like the more action you take and the more fails you have, right? The more rejections you get, that's going to show you how to do it, right? A lot of guys ask me, well, how do I approach women, or how do I have a good conversation with women? And I tell them, you approach 100 women and then we work on your finesse, right? Because unless you're doing it and getting comfortable talking to women, like you're not even, that's something we got to build up first, and then the style and the way you communicate, and the flirting, all that can come into play. But if you're not, if no action's even being taken, we're not even getting there.
Yeah, and rejection is it's such a huge thing. 'Cause I do the same thing too. I'll tell guys, instead of being, because the fear is the unknown of what the rejection is going to be like and feel like. And it's like,
Right.
if you approach it from, instead of saying, I fear rejection, say, the goal is to get a date. So I need to get 10 rejections to get one date. So go out there and get those rejections. Then it becomes a thing of like, it's part of the journey of getting a yes versus like, I'm fearful and it's going to ruin my day if I get like a no.
Right. Exactly. It's totally shifting your mindset. And the reason we don't like rejection or humiliation is because of the way it makes us feel, right? We don't like that feeling of rejection. And so I always work with my clients on, okay, well, what does it even feel like to be rejected? Right? Because we're so afraid of the idea of rejection that we
Right.
don't typically even feel it very often, because we just block ourselves from that. So what we're really afraid of is an emotion: humiliation, rejection, frustration. We're afraid of what we're going to feel after and during being rejected. And that is something we can totally handle,
Hmm.
because it's just an emotion and it feels kind of bad. It feels, it makes your heart race and it makes you feel, it's definitely an uncomfortable feeling, but you can totally handle any of those feelings. If I think more guys and women understood that really it's not her saying anything to you, it's not someone making fun of you, it's not someone saying, no, I don't like you. It's not even that, it's what you make it mean that causes us to feel bad, that we don't like. But the question is, what if you were willing to be judged? What if you were willing to feel rejection? How different would your life be?
Right. And also, like, if people understood too that all our reactions to things and how we take in things is all habit. Like, if
Mm.
you if you get into the habit of being able to experience rejection and then know how to work through it, then that becomes a skill to where when you get rejected, like the first rejection stinks, but like the 50th one, you're just like, oh, this happened before, it's no big deal. But it's like building to that point really is like the hardest part of all this.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when you go into a date, I always, in my head, I always think that whatever you're kind of believing about yourself, you're going to see it in the date. So if you come from this mindset of like, I'm not good enough, or, I just don't know if she'll like me, or, there's something wrong with me. It's just, I'm concerned about it. You're going to show up in that insecure way, and obviously she'll pick up on it, but you're going to be looking for that. So even if it's a totally good kind of normal date, your perception of that date is going to be so skewed to the negative that this is what happens a lot of time is guys will just stop right there. They'll be like, after the first date, they'll have come up with this story that it wasn't a good date, that she saw all my flaws, that it was just, I did this horrible, I stuttered on all my words, I didn't look her in the eye. And then they'll be like, they'll ghost her because they think she doesn't even like him anymore.
It's like the pre-ghosting, like I'm going to do it first so I can't get rejected by her.
Yes.
And I've heard
And
that. I just had somebody in my comments the other day leave a thing of like, me and this girl were dating for 3 months, and then she pulled away a little bit, so I just ended it. I was like, you didn't give her time. Like,
yeah. And they never ask, right? They never ask the woman like, oh, how'd you like that date? Or do you want to go on another date?
yeah.
It's just, I know because of the way I felt, and I saw the way she looked at me. She kind of gave me a side eye. So I know she so we make up all these just BS, assumptions that really hold us back.
Yeah. And what if that's like in tandem with the whole happiness thing? It's like, if they're already sensing that, oh, the date didn't go well, then there's a potential in the future for this person to bring down some extreme heartache on me. So let me just dead that all together by just not letting it go any further.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's failing ahead of time, rejecting yourself ahead of time. But one thing I want to say about the happiness is that what I teach my clients is that we're always in a state of 50-50 in terms of good and bad emotions, in terms of positive and negative emotions, light and dark. There's always a contrast of emotions. So one thing that really compounds our unhappiness is the idea that we should be happy all of the time. And what we do is we make women be that fix, right? If she's the one who can make me happy all of the time.
Right.
Total nonsense. Because if you understand that your life, regardless of whatever goal you achieve, whether it's a house, the job, the woman, the kids, your life is always going to be 50-50. Always, you're going to have good emotions, bad emotions, and that's the human experience. And what's so beautiful about the negative experiences and the negative emotions we will naturally experience is that those negative emotions actually are what make us grow and evolve, and they embolden us to be better and like more striving humans. So it's like question that argument that you want to be happy all of the time. Is that really the case? Do you not want challenges in your life? Do you not want to overcome obstacles? And that's what I love about dating is there's no one paying you. There's no corporate incentive. It's just you, raw, genuine, trying to find someone who loves you unconditionally and you love them unconditionally. And that's kind of comes into our previous conversation of not wanting women to make us happy, right? If we love ourselves unconditionally and know that loving ourselves unconditionally means loving all of our bad emotions as well and not thinking there's anything wrong when we're feeling bad. Just notice what thoughts we're having that are causing us to feel bad, and then we work from there.
Because ultimately we have a choice and say in how we decide to react and respond to things.
Exactly.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high class man. You a high class man. You a high